Hello and welcome to Lunchtime Politics, reaching you live from our global headquarters here in the nation's commercial nerve center, Lagos. I'm Jeffrey Uzonga. Let's bring you up to speed with the big stories we're tracking for you in the polity right now. The National Security Advisor warns terrorist group Lakurawa that their days are numbered and that they picked a wrong time to enforce their illegal activities. Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, says he's implementing the president's policy by building houses for judges. A senior lawyer, Femi Falana, maintains it is wrong to build houses or buy cars for judges. And ahead of his interment on Friday of the former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tauri Lagbaja, his body is being inspected at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport for commencement of the funeral rites. Thanks again for joining us on the program. Let's set out with the controversy over the executive building houses for judges, perhaps perceived by the public as a ploy into pocketing the judges for political gains. Claims the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, has actually denied. He explains that the construction of homes for judges is not his policy, but part of the welfare packages President Bola Tinubu designed for the judges to promote the independence of the judiciary. Mr. Wike made the clarification during the media chat, insisting that the project was approved in the 2024 budget and is only performing his duty of implementing it.
It was approved by Mr. President, sent to the National Assembly in 2024 budget that there should be construction of judges and justices' quarters. That they must remove judges from where they are renting houses. They don't even know where they are living. Where they are living among criminals. We're renting houses where the landlord will say, look, you have not paid. Leave. It's embarrassing. A policy anybody should commend Mr. President.
Well, by human rights lawyer and senior advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Femi Falana, has condemned the gifting of houses to judges by the Minister of the FCT. The minister had in October flagged off, designed the construction of 40 judges' quarters in Katankwe district of the nation's capital, Abuja, which has generated controversy, with many arguing that it is unethical. Speaking on our program Politics Today, Mr. Falana argued that it is wrong for the executive to give gifts to the members of the judiciary, especially the judges.
The executive must stop embarrassing the judiciary. Now, look at the contradictions. You know, it's like the governor of Kaduna State, or Zamfara State, or Cross Rivers, or Lagos, coming to give judges, federal judges, houses in Abuja. No. The minister of the Federal Capital Territory operates like a state governor by virtue of Section 299 of the Constitution. So he cannot say, I'm going to build 40 houses. 10 shall go to the Federal Court, 10 shall go to judges in the FCTI Court, and 10 shall go to the Court of Appeal and Supreme. No! No! Because you are a minister of the federal government, like a state governor.
Well, that issue has been a subject of controversy, so that's the senior advocate weighing in on that particular matter. Let's move on now to tell you that the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribado, has warned the new Islamic sect in the northwest region, known as Lakurawa, that their days are numbered if they do not desist from acts of terrorism. Speaking at the opening ceremony of the Comptroller General of Customs Conference in Abuja, Mr. Ribado says nobody dares President Bola Tinubu and get away with it, and insists that the group have at the wrong time, vowing that they will be kicked out of Nigeria.
And we are beginning to see the gains, what we call Tinubu gains. Hundreds of bandits are killed today, every day. Tinubu gains. You move everywhere in our own country today, free of fear. Tinubu gains. Things are changing. These so-called Lakura or whatever you call them, they are making a mistake. Nobody ever dares Tinubu and win. Nobody. They have come at a wrong time. Nobody has ever defeated Tinubu. And you are going to be defeated, and we'll kick you out of Nigeria, one after the other. Things will change in our country. And it's already changing. Many parts of our country today is living in peace. Go to the Niger Delta. Things have changed. Today, we have gotten to 1.8 million barrels of crude oil. We have not seen this for a long, long time. Tinubu gains. Beginning little by little, this welfare to the rich is stopping, is coming to an end in Nigeria. Special things going to the very rich, no more. Central bank is clean. Nobody is making one dime in our central bank, unlike up to 2023. Tinubu gains. And the Naira will be stabilized. It will be stabilized. Tinubu gains. And it's happening all over. We are just 1 year, 7 months. Let them wait and see 2025. It will happen. We will secure this country. We will fix it.
Well, quite an interesting optimism by the National Security Advisor, almost thinking he's a politician at one point. But he has the right to say what he has to say. Let's hope that the country is going to get better. Let's move on now. And this time on a solemn note, the nation's capital, at the presidential wing of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, we are awaiting the arrival of the corpse of the late Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja. You can see his body is being expected to arrive any moment from now, from Lagos here to the nation's capital. Upon his arrival, it will be decorated, accorded a guard of honor, and taken down with this red carpet you're seeing in full view of Nigeria's military top brass until it is put in the ambulance and taken to a resting place until it is interred tomorrow at the National Cemetery, Abuja. Our correspondent, Kayla Megwa, had filed in a report.
We're live here at the president wing of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, where we are expecting the arrival of the body of the late Chief of Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, which will be landing here from Lagos any moment. Planning that when that body here, it will move along this carpet and see the operations on the way. We're told that the top of the Nigerian military will be lying on this red carpet as his body is moved by the porters across it, passing all the way down that ambulance. Now from the ambulance, it will be taken to a place where it will be until tomorrow, where it will be finally interned. And that's right here, and that's the details that we have for you right now. So developing will give you more as they happen. But that's where we are, waiting the arrival of the body of the late Chief of Army Staff Taoreed Lagbaja to be here in a few minutes, we're told, and we'll bring you the details they have.
All right, so that's the latest update as far as the body of the late Chief of Army Staff is concerned, going from Lagos to Abuja. Kela is on ground to bring us up to speed as far as that development is concerned. So, but let's head to the exercise that will be taking place in about 48 hours from now. The Commissioner of Police in Ondo State, Abayomi Oladipo, has restated the preparedness of the security agencies ahead of the upcoming election in Ondo State, which is set to take place this Saturday. He says about 15,000 policemen will be deployed for the exercise, and even as security hotspots have been identified and taken care of. He was speaking on our program this morning, the Morning Brief.
Okay, thank you. The planning deployments for those who will be at the 3,933 polling units spread across the 3 senatorial zones and 18 local governments of the state. Police will be deploying over 15,000 to the polling units
which will be supported by other sister services in the state. As per the threat assessment, we have focus on the whole state. However, our attention is more focused on Idore local governments, or local governments, some parts of Ose local governments. Those are the critical areas. And of course, Ilaje, SLDO local governments. For Akoko, we have some areas that we have eyes on. But I can tell you that the whole state is our area of focus.
Also speaking on the program, the Director of Programs at Yaga Africa, Cynthia Mbamalu, has identified major gaps in the transportation of electoral materials from polling units to the INEC returning office in the state, with specific reference to lessons learned from the governorship election that took place in Edo State.
And then after the voting process, the collation is key for us, because so far we've observed that the collation process is still one of the weakest links in our electoral process, especially as it relates to results management. One of the things we did set in Edo was, one, an integrity test for the Electoral Commission. And we did highlight that these elections, also in Ondo, will be assessed on three important tests for us. One, the electoral integrity test on the part of the Electoral Commission. The second, impartiality test for the security agencies. And third, the resilience test for the voters. Now, I would start with impartiality test for security agents, but we saw that undermined in Edo, and we're hoping that Ondo will have a different experience. And that is the level of impartiality of security agencies as it relates to, one, managing and protecting personnel and materials from the polling unit to the collation centers, ensuring that they are not interfering with the process of collation, because we got reports of that interference at collation centers in Edo, and we're hoping we don't see that in Ondo, that there is no interference with the collation process by security personnel in this election.
All right, so we're going to go to that conversation for the day that has to do with this election. But before that, we can tell you that INEC have commenced distribution of sensitive materials to various local government areas ahead of the election on Saturday. The distribution is being done at the premises of the Central Bank in Akure, the Ondo State capital, under the watchful eyes of party agents, armed policemen, and several commercial buses hired by the commission. So you can see lots of activities, moving parts, electoral materials by the officials and agents to make sure that the process is open, transparent, fair, free, and credible. Okay. Okay, the very conversation we're having today has to do with the Ondo governorship election. And we have joining us the PDP Publicity Secretary in Ondo State, Mr. Kennedy Berete. He joins us from Akure. Mr. Berete, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Good afternoon, and thanks for having me.
Let's also say that we're expecting the APC personnel or the party members, one of them, to join us to have this conversation so that we have a balanced conversation. But hey, since we have you, let's get started with you on this particular one. Let's start with the big allegations you're leveling against the All Progressives Congress. It's been some days now when this started off, where the PDP is alleging that the APC is planning to undermine the process, I guess through vote buying. Why are you talking about this? What are the evidences you have? What are you seeing on ground that makes you to talk to raise this concern ahead of the polls on Saturday?
Well, I didn't quite hear you clearly.
Okay, I was talking about the back and forth between your party and the All Progressives Congress over the issue of vote buying, that you are alleging that they are planning to undermine the process. So I wanted you to respond whether you have evidence to that effect, or what are you seeing that is making you raise this concern?
Well,
Oh dear. Okay, let's see. Let's see whether we can get Mr. Perete. So let's be clear, about 18 people are vying for the governorship seat. One of them is the incumbent who took over from his principal that passed on. I'm talking about Larotimi Akeredolu, who died, and his deputy, Lucky Ayedatiwa, took over. And Lucky Ayedatiwa is now a candidate of the APC to run for a full term. He's being challenged by people like Ayola Bola of the PDP. And then we're not sure what the position of the Labour Party is between Ayola Rafemi and Olushola Ebishani, because there's a court judgment that came out, we understand, yesterday, setting aside the decision of the lower court, Federal High Court, that had directed INEC to take on the name or impute the name of Ebishani ahead of Ayola Rafemi. So that's on the Labour Party part. There are other people, I think 2 females are involved in this particular exercise and about 16 males. So I think Mr. Perete is back before I continue. Mr. Perete? Okay. So we're trying to get Mr. Perete to come on board so we can have that conversation about this allegation of vote buying or no vote buying, whether I can substantiate that, and other concerns around the election. But I was trying to say that about 18 people are vying for that position, and that exercise is going to be taking place in just hours from now, about 48 hours. Materials are being sent across different parts of the 18 local government areas of the state. But we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we hope to get Mr. Perete back to have this conversation. Join us again. Welcome back. As soon as we're able to get to Mr. Perete Kennedy, the PDP Publicity Secretary of in Ondo State, we'll be able to have that conversation no matter how short it is. But we'll continue with other stories. Let's tell you that the body of late Chief of Army Staff Taoreed Lagbaja is now at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, the presidential wing, where the top army echelon had been waiting ahead of, just as part of the process of funeral rites ahead of his interment tomorrow at the military cemetery in the nation's capital, Abuja. So that's the latest we're tracking as far as that particular development is concerned. Okay, let's also tell you that the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs Service says the service has hit its 2024 revenue target of 5 trillion naira. Welcoming participants to the opening ceremony of the 2024 Comptroller General of Customs Conference, which took place in Abuja, the Customs Board said the feat is as a result of the enhanced stakeholder collaboration, improved process, and modernized systems. Our correspondent, Lanre Lasisi, has a report.
Officials of the Nigerian Customs Service, members of the Diplomatic Corps, and top government officials are here for the 2024 Comptroller General of Customs Conference with the theme Nigeria Customs Service Engaging Traditional and New Partners with Purpose. The Comptroller General of Customs welcomes participants and goes on to emphasize how strategic engagements and collaborative approaches have impacted innovations in the service.
As at yesterday, 12th November 2024, at exactly 10 minutes after 1, the Nigeria Customs Service has hit its 2024 revenue target of 5.07 trillion. This exceptional performance, projected to exceed our targets by about 10%, validates our partnership-driven approach to revenue collection and trade facilitation.
Some of those present shared their thoughts on how the service can consistently achieve its mandate.
The Ministry of Finance recognizes that balanced, well-structured partnerships are key to making progress. Our role in crafting trade policies and regulatory frameworks aims to support the efforts of the Nigerian Customs Service, ensuring a system that is fair, efficient, and growth-oriented.
Integration of artificial intelligence, data analytics, and blockchain technology into customs procedures can enhance transparency, improve efficiency, and mitigate corruption.
The Director General of the World Trade Organization also sent in her remarks. She suggested steps to boost the efforts of the service to build a better business climate in Nigeria.
Limiting the use of tariff concessions under schemes such as the import duty exemption certificate and making their use much more transparent, and removing most products from the import prohibition list that frequently receive discretionary waivers, to the extent that this accounts for approximately 6 to 7% of Nigeria's imports.
The National Security Advisor, who represented President Bola Tinubu, commended the Customs Service for strengthening Nigeria's position as a trade-friendly nation.
The service is also strengthening Nigeria's position as a trade-friendly nation through strategic reforms, particularly in export promotion and port efficiency.
This three-day conference is expected to help the Customs Service balance its mandate of trade facilitation, revenue collection, and security for the country's economic development. Lanre Lasese, Channels Television News.
Among stories now, former Commonwealth Secretary General Chief Emeka Anyako has once again reiterated his call for the country to do away with the 1999 Constitution and instead come up with what he describes as a true federal constitution. The elder statesman was speaking at the book launch of former Managing Director of the News Agency of Nigeria, Emeritus Professor Akinjide Oshutokun in Lagos. The book launch also had in attendance notable personalities, including the 2023 presidential election presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, former governor of Ekiti State, Kaide Fayemi, cleric and lawyer, Pastor Tunde Bakare, and media entrepreneur Dele Momodu. Chief Anyako told the gathering that as long as the 1999 Constitution remains the country's guide, it will be impossible to tackle the myriads of challenges confronting the nation.
Nigeria, like many other countries across the world, is a pluralistic country. That is a country whose population consists of groups of peoples that were long established in their separate geographical areas with different histories, different cultures, different languages, and religions. The universal lesson is that pluralistic countries which have survived as single political entities in unity and progress are those that have addressed their pluralism, that is their diversity, with genuine federal constitutions.
And that's it on the program. Thank you so much for your time and, of course, your usual company. Apologies we couldn't get the PDP and APC side of the Ondo governorship. Sorry, PDP and APC campaign council members of the Ondo governorship election. We're supposed to have that conversation, but network wouldn't let us have that conversation. But I must thank you for your time and company. I'm Jeff Ruzama. You've been served on Lunchtime Politics. Bye-bye.